Hey, come catch this wave with the Fixx squad. The Fixx is in. I'm Mr. Soul, I'm tuning in. What you doing?
Stand up. James left, but the king still reigns here. No tears, no love lost, no rain here. Delivers, I promise, Santa rain here. Love for the city still resides here. Fix for your ailment, faith that resides outside the lines. Detox your mind, cause it matters. Art outside the box, we pace better. The Fixx is in, and we rock a channel. We rock with them for what's deep within. Expose those who talk but don't live. Expose those who talk but don't live. Take offense. Judge by the fruit from the tree, but if the fruit tastes.
Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your source for faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. Stop playing. Y'all know what time it is. And when I tell y'all, man, listen, this was one for the books. Let's be very clear. I know, Dice, you brought it up before when we interviewed CeCe Winans. You brought up, if we were at a concert and we saw CeCe perform, and she just turned into an angel and she ascended to heaven, we wouldn't be surprised. We would not be surprised. No one would question that.
Nobody.
We knew she was an angel that was sent here from the Lord. I feel the same way about our guest today. Let's be very clear. He champions for Christian hip hop. They be talking about Christian hip hop dead. I say, have you got this man in your plate? The man don't know nothing else but being a pastor and making it cool to love Jesus in the same spirit. Like, so if I was at one of his concerts, which I have been there, if he would have just turned into an angel, say, you know what, y'all, I gave what I could give y'all. If you didn't get it, sorry, I'm on the battlefield for my Lord now. I'm going up. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me welcome in one of the best to do it right now in our genre. Let's be very clear. He's an author, he's a singer, songwriter, rapper, and he rap for real. The one and only, his glory alone, KB. What's going on, bro?
Ooh, that was an intro, brother. I am speechless. However I was doing before you did that intro, I feel much better now. And I'm glad to be here with my people. Yeah, I cannot agree more about CeCe Winans. I don't know if I got that kind of anointing, but I literally would watch her ascend to heaven and go on about my business. I wouldn't even ask a question. It makes that much sense.
No, it makes that much sense. No, you have had an impact on the culture. You know you have, and I know you're being humble right now, but let's be very clear. We talk about the theologians in this space, and of course your name always comes up. We can go down the list, but yeah, your name always comes up. You have taken a sign. So let me ask this question first. We're gonna get right to it because I know Dice got questions. I got questions too. Talk about your sound. How in the world did Jesus give you the idea to infuse trap music with CCM music, slow it down, and then in the middle of some songs, you know what? I'm going to give you a whole nother beat too, just because I'm nice like that. Where did that come from? No one's doing that in music. Let's be very clear. No one's doing that in music, let alone this genre. So like, where did that idea come from to do that?
Wow, brother, these intros, they're too good, bro. I don't know how to react to them. So I think so. For one, let me just give honor where honor is due. I have a very solid team around me, and I have been building that community. In fact, I would say, if I could be practical for a moment, God taught me very early that I am only as strong as the community that is around me. So you think about what Paul says in Corinthians: bad company corrupts good morals. The necessary consequence of that verse is, if you are surrounded by good company, it strengthens morals, it strengthens ethics, it strengthens passion, call, it strengthens ability. I can do more when there's more of us than when it's me by myself. I also think that there's a biblical principle there with Proverbs when it talks about isolating yourself, being to yourself, how the isolated man, Proverbs 18, rebels against all sound judgment. I think building a muscle throughout the years, working a muscle of trusting good people around me, has brought this sound that I am not exclusively responsible for. I feel like I'm just contributing to this greater work that these wonderful people like Wes Ryder, for a long time, Natalie Lauren, Swoop, Joseph Prolazny, and a myriad of other brothers that are in the community that are just listeners, that we work on these things together. This is the product of a family, not the product of a person. So I would say a lot of these ideas is all of us bringing a piece of the puzzle to the table and then stepping back and seeing something beautiful at the end. I credit God's grace in the people around me for being able to discover all these ways in which we can bend sounds together. So that's one practical end. The other end is I myself, I live in diversity. So I'm in an Afro-Latino family. I got Afro-Latino kids. I'm in a multi-ethnic, multinational, multi-generational community. I'm deeply committed to the fight community in Tampa and helping to, it be an influence for the Lord Jesus Christ with many of the fighters. And boxing is a world that is filled with every nation, every tribe, every tongue meeting at a gym, trying to hone in a craft. So I live in absolute diversity from salsa, so that goes into music. So from salsa to worship to CCM to gospel to trap, that's my world. This is me being faithful to who I am in my music as well.
Honestly, as you were speaking, and I thank you for laying out that picture, what was really on my heart is how do you express that when you run across a community or a person who they don't live in that diversity? They don't have that understanding of the multicultural picture of, race and everything around the cross, like because they maybe have had to live in isolation. Not that they chose it, but that's just where they're from. Like, how do you kind of say, hey, this is what that looks like. This is, you know, biblically what that looks like.
That's a great question, Dice. I think so. For one, I have to arm myself with patience. If God did not arm Himself with patience towards me, it's a line on my new album. I said if I on the song "Your Way," where I say I would have been gave up on me. If it was me that was, I take so much joy in the fact that God is not like me. And so I think part of godliness, a big part of godliness, is learning to be patient. And so I think for me, I want to first approach these folks with patience. I want to be sympathetic. I know what it's like to be living in a silo and think everybody is wrong if they don't see it the way that I see it or do it the way I do it. I've been there before. There's probably still blind spots in my life where I'm doing that now. So I think lots and lots of patience. But I will not stop if you don't get it. So I also can't. I cannot. I cannot be beholden. That's what Christian hip hop is, right? So we initially were not accepted by the churches that we hailed from. I'll say it like that. For a long time, Christian contemporary music, the Christian industry, only allowed one of us in, and everybody else had to figure it out. They were like, "We don't need you. We already have Toby Mac." You know what I'm saying? So that was a concern for a long time, and then these doors. What were we supposed to do before the doors came down? Well, we gonna do our work in the hallway. We're gonna do our work in the hallway, and that's my position. That I'm gonna be patient, kind, gracious, but we are going to work whether anybody gets it or not because we know that God has given us this call, and by God's grace today, I think that the industry is more inclusive than it's ever been. I think that Christian hip hop is finding homes in places that didn't have homes before. But I think that it's those two things going together. It's being patient with those who don't get it, but do not stop doing it.
That's so good, and I love that you broke down. We have broken down some barriers, but I still think I would argue we still got work to do. What's your take? Because absolutely, we know you can move in spaces that a lot of Christian hip hop artists have not been able to move in, just because you do have a little notoriety, and well, you make hits too as well. So that's a whole nother conversation. But talk about just in general. Where do you think the church is in receiving Christian hip hop now? Because I think a lot of Christian hip hop artists are going outside of churches more now because they still feel rejected by the church and the music.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. That there is some progress, but a lot more to do, lot further to go. I think um, today we see more of an uncontested. So Christian hip hop was. Uh, I mean, there was full DVD series made against Christian hip hop. There was we couldn't go to churches with our hats on. Before they asked you your name, they asked you to remove your hat. You know what I'm saying? I just remember there being hostility, and though as these movements typically, if you're opposing something that God is in, you're going to fizzle out, and the thing that God is in will still be here, and that's what happened. All those movements are basically gone now, and we are here at least not being contested everywhere that we go. So I appreciate that we're not in battlement like we were before. In fact, the battles that we have been mainly internal in recent history. So there's that. I also think that Christian contemporary music has embraced Christian hip hop. I would like to see them do it more, but they have done it in ways that not many other industries have done it. Hip hop hasn't done it that way. There have been other genres of music that I won't name that we are adjacent to that haven't embraced us that way. So I do appreciate some of the opportunities that Christian contemporary music is given us, but there's still a lot further that we can go. A lot. We need more radio stations, more Christian hip hop promoters, more Christian hip hop magazines, more Christian hip hop publications, more Christian hip hop labels. We need that, because without those pieces of infrastructure, it doesn't matter who is okay with us. Or every industry can say, "Oh, I'm okay with Christian hip hop now." If we don't have multiple ways in which we can drop a song and get it out everywhere. I was just having dinner with my friend, with a few of my friends on Friday for my homie's birthday, and I was talking to them about how long it took me to get to where I am right now. That it took 12 years of, stuff that my body can't even handle anymore. I can't fly 4 or 5 a.m. flights in a row all over the nation, do concerts, interviews, all that stuff. Like, my body can only do that in one day, and then I'm out for two. You know what I'm saying? And I had to literally do what they used to call the Chitlin circuit for years, making nothing, breaking even, rooms filled with people that don't know a single song of mine, pulling teeth at concerts, trying to win a crowd every single night. I did that for years. And part of that is because there was no there, Reach Records, who I was with for most of that time, couldn't take my song and put it on give it to radio, and then 2,000 radio stations are playing my song. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't take my song and put it on BET, and now I'm on or whatever. There, all of these platforms don't really have a space for us. So if we get it, we have to get it out the mud through blood, sweat, and tears. And that is something that I went through. I'm proud that God sustained me through it. I think that there's substance in my audience now that I wouldn't have had before. But I don't want that to be the case for everyone that goes but behind me. Some people's marriages can't survive that. Their souls can't survive that. I want you to be able to work in this industry the same way somebody in this mainstream can work in their industry, where we work really hard. We put this music out. It's distributed. I don't have to go door to door telling people about this, but it's distributed everywhere. And folks get careers that they can then build, but we need institution for that. So I want to support as many radio stations, Christian festivals that I can. We are working on a label now. I already own a production studio and a merchandise company that is supplying lots of opportunities for Christian artists. That I'm making them hundreds of thousands of dollars so that they can use that money to do what they do. And but we need more of that. So that's how I'll say the state of things are now.
That's a beautiful thing. Make sure you keep Dice Gamble in your spirit when you need some new artists. She come out there and a little soft little 16 real quick.
Yeah, I'll come right on over there when you need it. Soft 16. I'll be over there. I'm just saying, I got time. I got time. I got time.
Nice.
I
I'll
have,
check
I
you
have,
out.
yeah, check me out. Listen, I have this question is going to be probably a long answer. It's a concern for me. I think for a lot of people in this particular genre concerning, you have a lot of up and coming Christian rappers, but we don't know their theology, right? So it's like, do we know if they even have the ability, maybe at a show, to, even lead anyone towards any steps of salvation? Um, it's becoming, a little bit of a concern. Should it, in your humble opinion, should it be a concern or no? You know what I mean? I'm from the old school, so I get asked that question a lot. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. That's a great question. I think it should be a concern. I don't. For one, we're not just making songs that happen to be about Jesus. We're making claims in this music about who Jesus is and what he can do and who he's supposed to be in our lives. Not saying that we are not people of struggles. I am a man of struggles. I am a man of flaws, a man of failure. I understand what it means to be broken. There's no questions about that whatsoever. But the idea is that that brokenness doesn't then become hypocrisy, where I'm telling people that they should do things that I'm not doing, or I'm basically on stage painting pictures of realities that I've never experienced. That is bad for something way bigger. That's bad. That's not just bad for hip hop. That's bad for Christianity. So we can't have that. So I think that having supporting artists who are not undoing the claims that they're making by their arrogance and their pride and their false theology and their music, so on and so forth. I think being concerned about that or not partnering with that is good. In other respects, I also don't want to make the bar, cross movement. You know what I'm saying? That if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Because, and I know that's not what y'all are saying at all. But I think that some people can have this. You could feel like if the artist isn't really discipling me in his music, then he must not be a disciple. And I think that's not true. Because there's an artist that we're working with right now. He's got a few viral records online. He's a lot. I have him on my album a lot. Scooty Wop is his name, and yeah, Scooty, yeah, Scooty the man, and Scooty makes music that I wouldn't make. I mean, I love all his music, but I wouldn't do Hold Up, I Ain't With That. Devil trying to get his lick back, which I love that song, but it's just not the kind of music that I make, but I support it fully. I mean, he's staying at our offices tonight. We have a bedroom in our offices, so he's staying there tonight. Full support thrown behind him. But I know that Scooty, I'll walk to the studio and Scooty's in his Bible reading. Hold up, KB. Let me just finish this up and I'll be ready to go. Scooty is asking questions in the studio about life and doctrine and godliness and relationships. Scooty is someone that is walking with Jesus, and it's clear in his music that he is, but I think it's even clearer in how when you just around him. And I think artists like that are very, very needy, and that's why I support artists. I told a story the other day about this artist that I know. I'm still really good friends. I'm still friends with him, and we connect from time to time. And he loves my music. He's constantly texting me about my music, and I'm texting him about his music. I love his music as well. And he's in the mainstream, and he got saved while he was in the mainstream. And my encouragement to him was to talk about Jesus over there. You don't have to now join the GMA and now get up for Dubs or join Provident or some Christian label. You can, from where you are, honor the Lord in all of your music and point to Jesus while you're doing it. And on the ground, he's doing Bible studies with his band. He's getting to share the gospel. He's also behind closed doors advocating for us. You know what I'm saying? He's promoting me in ways that then support what I'm doing with people who are really, really important in the industry. We need people who are marked by lives that are committed to Jesus, not necessarily marked by music that is the most explicit about Jesus. So that's kind of how I would answer that.
What wonderful said. Listen, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble, you tap into the Fixx. We got to go to a quick break. I promise you, don't touch that dial. We got KB on the line, and I'm telling you, we got a lot more to talk about. Keep it locked. You tuned into the Fixx.
And the Fixx is in.
Only Culture Radio.
We're not just background noise. We play the music that inspires you because every song has a story. Christian hip hop and R&B music and talk on Siriusxm channel 154, 24 hours a day. Holy Culture Radio is changing the game. Discussions about faith, arts, vocation, and education. We talk about the real issues that affect our communities and work together to find solutions. Join the discussion at holyculture.net and be heard.
Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, and yeah, we still got KB on with us. So come on, KB, talk about it, man. You recently wrote your first book, and I haven't read it yet, but I am anticipating reading it, and I know it's amazing. But for somebody who doesn't know about it, talk about the inspiration and what the book's about.
My debut book, Dangerous Jesus, Why the Only Thing More Risky than getting Jesus right is getting Jesus wrong. And the book is basically coming from these two angles where I'm looking at the word dangerous in a positive way and a negative way. So the word dangerous, typically in the context of sports, when we say an athlete is dangerous, we're talking about what their presence on the field or in the ring or on the court means for the enemy, for the opposition, for the other team. The opposing team is in danger when we got a dangerous person, a dangerous athlete, a triple threat on the field in the game. We talk about that typically, like we call them beast, or say that they're a threat, or this person's a problem, they're killing, that kind of thing. It always is in relationship to the opposition. And when I think about the Lord Jesus Christ, who he is the ultimate danger to anything that would put you and me in danger. Anything that would put our faith in danger, our families in danger, our economy in danger, that this Jesus steps in as the difference maker. And being on his team means victory and championship for us because he doesn't lose. Yet, if you take that Jesus, that same Jesus, who I would argue is the most influential, powerful, worthy of love, respect, and honor, transformative being in the world. If you take that Jesus and then reimagine him and repurpose him and make him more like a mascot. You know what a mascot is? It's an exaggeration of something that's real. So he becomes basically somebody that's a cheerleader for your own agenda, cheerleader for the way you would like him to be. That Jesus becomes dangerous in a negative sense, that Jesus is actually bad for us and makes people worse. So there's great risk here. There is aligning with Jesus and finding yourself in a life and in a world of joy and peace, suffering, but enduring through it all, next to a world that creates oppression, creates problems, that runs people away if you get Jesus wrong, which is what we see happening across the land regularly.
So he's just saying he just wanted to preach for a second, Dice, basically. The book is about KB preaching, and it's okay. He's preaching the good news.
I mean, I appreciate the teaching. I was like, man, did you know maybe 15 years ago, I'll ask, that this is where you would be? Like, did you want to be where you are now? Or is this something that you just woke up one day and was like, man, got it. Okay, this is what we're doing, you know? Like, did you have any like aspiration to actually be where you are? Because where you sit right now, and even when we started, you were very humble about where you are, but you are the example. You know what I mean? And as heavy as you have to hold that, that's the truth. So I'm like, man, like, did you even see that coming? Like, or were you trying to actually get to this place?
That's a great question. You know, it's so funny. Like, I feel like I've had a few aspirations. Like, I wanted to start a company that employed people who care about Christian hip hop and the church and mission. But I think for the majority of my career, it has been me just trying to be very, very faithful with whatever's right in front of me. And then whatever opportunities come after that, I then figure out if I'm going to be faithful to those when they get in front of me. So I have not, now I'm starting to dream more as I've gotten to think, I'm 35 years old, and now I got to think about what does it mean to go into 40 if the Lord allows, you know what I'm saying, and 50 and 60. So I've just started like putting more aspirations up, but man, where I am right now, I did not imagine it. My mom says she knew, but so I'll trust her vision, and that is true. I remember distinctly being before I was a teenager, her constantly telling me that God has something special for you, and if I told it to you now, you wouldn't believe it. And she said that to me multiple times in my childhood. I remember where I was sitting one time she said it to me, but I never imagined that I would be where I am right now. So I'm just grateful and just looking to see what Lord might do next.
Yeah, we waiting too as well. Let's talk about this music before we get you out of here. Listen, we are blessed. We privy to already sampled this thing that's about to drop. And when I tell you this thing is ridiculous, come on, talk about this track, Miracles, being able to make music with Lecrae again and what that was like.
Yeah, for sure. I just got asked this question at this. We did a album listening thing for like the industry, for like Pandora, Spotify, and a bunch of other folks at this museum in Nashville, and I got asked about Miracles. So I think one of the beautiful things about my relationship with Lecrae is that we are truly brothers. Like, we are brothers, and brothers fight sometimes. Brothers don't see things eye to eye. We've had some ups and downs in our relationship, but Lecrae is one of the relationships that I have that I reference often, of the power of God to keep people that are in Christ together if they commit to confession and reconciliation and repentance. If you commit to that, God is faithful to hold even some of the more challenging issues that you've had. God can work through all of that. And I think Crae's relationship, myself and Lecrae's relationship, has been strong and strengthened for a long time because we have went through many tunnels together. We have, had many moments of disagreement, doubt, suspicion, all of those things. And then on the other end, even where we've not necessarily been able to get 100% agreement, even though we probably have got about 100% agreement now, just because of how much work we've done on our relationship, we stand as a union of brothers in a miraculous way. That God works miracles of reconciling brothers and sisters who are committed to reconciliation. So I think that him and I coming together, I just think that by itself is a moment and a testament of the power of God to keep people. And that's my big brother, and he's been a mentor to me. Is just, even here recently helped me with a bunch of things as I'm in a stage in life that he is in and has been through and is at a degree higher than I am. He's been able to counsel me through things. So I think that just us doing a song together is miraculous. And then this song is, of course, about all the little ways in which God is showing supernatural activity in your life, to be aware of those things and not forget them when it feels like he's far away.
What a moment of silence. This is what we're doing, Focus. Listen, you told me.
No. I got another one. Go ahead.
What'd you tell me yesterday? Don't be a fan, Dice. Don't be a fan. So if I don't say anything, KB, it's because I'm just doing like,
good.
Hold it down. Go ahead,
good.
Focus.
Go ahead and talk about Glory to Glory, because that's the one we got in rotation now, and it's amazing, man. I mean, you're right. It does matter the team you have around you, because the body of work that you put out, KB, I know you humble, but this stuff is smacking, man. Like this thing, I be driving to the studio some mornings, and I be like, I'm about to wreck my car. Lord help me. I just want to pull over. Like, this is it. Thank you. But talk about it. Inspiration behind Glory to Glory, man. I'm serious.
Okay, so man, first of all, thank you, man, for your kind words, bro. Seriously. So Glory to Glory, Kardak, drum Puerto Rican producer here in Florida. I've worked with him for many years. He sent me the idea, and I think that I forgot how much influence gospel had on Latin church, like on Hispanic churches. And so he sent me a song and he also did Dance Danza, which is another Fred Hammond sample, because this is what this is what we grew up on. We grew up singing this in church. So they certainly sung in the Black church. They sing it in the Latin church as well. And I think that when I got this opportunity, I was like, yes, now we have a kind of reference to our childhood that I think a lot of people can connect with. And it kind of captures the idea of the album. HGA 1, His Glory Alone 1, going to His Glory Alone 2. That's glory to glory. And now we have this drill gospel trap record that kind of encompasses my style of blending things together. To me, it felt just right. And I made that song probably like 2 weeks before it came out. It was 2 weeks before. I made that song like 2 weeks before, less than that. It was like a week before I had to turn in my album. It was like one of the last songs I recorded, and then we kind of put a snippet of it online, and it went viral, and we moved things around, and that became the kind of the second single from the third, because Grave's Easy, and then this one right here. So or fourth, because King Jesus on the album too. So, but it became kind of like the lead record.
Hits. So what he said humbly is, I've been putting out hit singles, working my way to the record, that you want to hear. Last one before we get you out of here. Talk to me nice. I love that you brought one of the vets back in, SO. Talk about that collaboration and working with SO and that song.
Music with my friends. I've known SO for 13, 14 years. He was one of the first honorary HGA members. He would fly down to Tampa, stay with us, stay with folks in the community, do stuff with us. So he's been gang for a long time. So I'm constantly pulling him into stuff. And so he was on the King Jesus remix. And then we also did this joint right here for we actually did it a while ago, but we redid it. He redid his verse, and we redid the beat, added a bunch of other stuff to it. And so it was an honor for me to have my friend on the record, and that's who SO is to me. And he also brings that British accent, you know what I'm saying? The English accent, and because it's a UK drill record, which I love UK drill. So the sound. So it only made sense to have my friend come in and lace it. And I would argue that it's in my humble opinion, it's one of the first time an artist got on my song and outdid me. And we always try to make sure that doesn't happen. But you're not in control. The Lord is in control. And SO, I think he left me in the dust on that one. So shout out to SO.
It's funny you bring that up, because you're right. No artist wants to be outdone by their feature. It's funny because they were saying that for a long time. Lil Wayne his features were better than some of his projects.
Yes, yeah, that's very true. Yes.
Go ahead, Dice.
Honestly, I just want to say thank you. I didn't have too many questions today. It was just like, you have given your community so much to strive for, just in different areas, whether it's, like I said, just learning and education and community and family, and definitely the music. I mean, the artists probably won't be able to catch up with your music for like 50 years. Like you're just setting a standard. I mean, this is what you give us a job. You know what I'm saying? We get to play these hits, and I always talk about the boardroom focus when I go into the boardroom, and you've given me what I need to kind of convince people to get on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've just been able to create a style of music that reaches so many people. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm like, thank you so much. So no, man, I just wanted to give you your flowers, since I had the opportunity. And
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Keep going.
Last, because I know you a boxer, and you a boxing fan. I know we had this fight this past weekend. What's your thoughts? Do you think it's over for Spence? Do you think he has to hang it up?
Oh, no, I don't think it's over for Spence at all. I think styles make fights, and I think that in some ways. So let me just stop real quick and say that I've been saying this for a few years, probably 3-4 years now. Not that long. I'll say probably a couple of years. That Terrence Crawford is the best fighter of our generation. I think the best fighter before him retired, which was Andre Ward. I think before Andre Ward retired, it was Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd Mayweather was the best. I think that number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now, hands down, and he was this before this fight, is Terrence Crawford. And not only because of what he's accomplished, but because of who he is. He is the most complete fighter that we have seen in a long time. And he can fight both ways. He's an expert southpaw, expert orthodox. He can be a dog. He can box. He can do everything. He is, in my opinion, the perfect fighter. And so I think what happened on Saturday was beyond what I expected. I expected him to win. And I also expected it not to be hard for him. I said that too. I said that at the gym 2 weeks ago. I think it's not going to be an easy win, but it's not going to be a hard win either. And I can't believe it. That's what I was wrong about. I'm sorry. I talked that talk when it comes to boxing, okay? I was wrong about that. It was an easy win. And I think that it just showed the greatness of Crawford. I don't think it means that Spence is, just not a good fighter. It's just that Crawford has something that Spence was not prepared for, and he did not have another gear that he can shift into. He couldn't pull from a arsenal of tools to get the job done. And I think that's where the one-dimensional critique that Spence has gotten throughout the years, I think that's where it came into play on Saturday night, where the one dimension works until it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, you are absolutely a fish out of water, pardon the pun. I know the fish stuff. But much respect to him. Much respect to Derek James. Derek James let me come to the gym on the Glory Nights tour. He let me come to the gym and let me work out. Him and I had a great conversation for like an hour and a half. We talked about Spence Crawford. Much respect to Derek James and Spence. They are all greats. But the only thing is I have had that bias for Crawford for many years. I feel like he has not gotten the credit he deserves. He's like the Marvin Hagler of our time, with Sugar Ray Leonard fighting for $1 million and he on the same card making $10,000 or $100. So I think that he finally got what he deserved. I'm glad that he's out of ESPN with Showtime now, and I hope that they continue to build him as a superstar. Okay, I'm so sorry, and I got another interview. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we good. Definitely tell the people how they connect with you, follow you on all your social media platforms, when the project is dropping, and please introduce your latest single.
Yes, sir. So my new album, His Glory Alone 2, comes out August 11th. My debut book, Dangerous Jesus, is out right now everywhere. You can follow me at KB_HGA, or go to whoiskb.com. That's where all my stuff is. And my and up next is one of my favorite records on my album, Glory to Glory. Check it out.
Keep it locked. You're tuned into The Fixx.
And the fix is in.